Yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, the one and only Chico, back with a new hairstyle, trying something different. But it's been a couple of weeks now. The last time I did my top 25 Raw. Now I thought, since I'm kind of behind on it, I'd start out with my top 25 movies, which this is not necessarily everything, but it's the only thing that could come to the top of my head at least. So, let's get started. My top 25, number 25, Grease. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. They really spoilt the movie when they did the second one because it's just not worth it really. I didn't really like the second one. But anyway, my 24, Gamer. Gotta love Gamer. It's so realistic. First person shooter. Who don't love a first person shooter game? The Avengers. Can't wait to see number 2, which is supposed to have Adam Ant in it, which is also supposed to have, well, I don't forgot who it's supposed to have, but anyway, it's supposed to be a great movie. It's supposed to be a roll-off of a new Iron Man that's coming out. Also, I've heard that they tried to kill off all the Avengers, but there's also an Iron Man Part 4 coming out, so I don't see how they could kill off all the Avengers. 22, the Batman series. Tim Burton, gotta love the guy. He did the best Batman series of Batman, Batman Forever. He did the best Batman series, but you can't leave out the new Batman series, Batman Rises, Batman Begins. But Heath Ledger, between him and Jack Nicholson doing the Joker, hard choice, really. 21, the Smokey and the Bandit series. Gotta love a classic. The very last one wasn't as great because it didn't have Burt Reynolds in it, but it did have Snowman in it as the Bandit. I still say it wasn't as great, but Smokey and the Bandit series, what more can you say? It's a classic. 20. Everybody should know this. Say hello to my little friend. Everybody's gotta love Scarface. Also a great classic. 19, Blade series, which I've also heard that they're also coming out with a new Blade movie with Wesley Snipes in it, but instead of hunting vampires this time, he is hunting werewolves. We'll see how that turns out. But it's also supposed to have Whistler's daughter in it. 18, the Hannibal Lecter series. You cannot go wrong with that. I like red wine with my fava beans. But you also gotta love Red Dragon and Hannibal Rising also. 17, Pirates of the Caribbean. Another great one. Johnny Depp. Can't beat Johnny Depp. Love his movies. Well, I say I love his movies. I didn't really care for his new one that he come out with, and his classic Crybaby was alright, but there's about 2 movies that I didn't really like of his. Pirates of the Caribbean I really did like. 16, Torque. I wish they'd make a part 2 of this movie, because him just using that line from the Fast and the Furious, where I live my life a quarter mile at a time, that has to be a part 2 somewhere. Speaking of, my number 15, the Fast and the Furious series. A lot of people think they're going way overboard with the Fast and Furious series, but me on the other hand, I like them. I love the fast cars, but not only that, but they could have turned it around a little bit differently. Instead of going backwards, they should have went forwards with it. But I understand the punchline, but yet they should have where they killed off Han, they should have did it way after during the movies, but they got to have a punchline somewhere, which I figure with Fast and Furious 7 coming out, I figure they'll end up having a Fast and Furious 8 somewhere. There has been talk about it, but not for sure. Also, Vin Diesel is playing a new Avenger also. He is playing as Iron Fist, but that's talk also. Number 14, Biker Boys. Gotta love the Biker Gang movies. Very first one that ever come out, Easy Rider, one of the greatest classics. But if you're going with high octane bikes, crotch rockets, Habusas, Micah, Biker Boys, great movie. 13, the Harry Potter series. I didn't really, I love the Harry Potter series, but right at the end, I just couldn't really get into it. It kind of dulled out. I think they could have used a different storyline for it. But I understand they tried to go in by the book, but, you know, that's my opinion. Everybody's got their opinions. Number 12, Eddie and the Cruisers. Love the soundtrack, love the movies, love the second movie. I wish they could have made a third movie to it, just to finish out the whole storyline, just to see exactly how it finished. But I understand why they didn't finish it. But, you know, if they made a third one, they would have stopped there. That's the way I saw it. Number 11, 8 Mile. Eminem. I know a lot of people that's going to be watching this video, they do not like Eminem at all. But from a storyline of his life, from going from Detroit to 8 Mile, back to Detroit, and getting his start, and seeing where he is now, great movie. Tell you the truth, I wished I could walk in those footsteps. Because look at him now. $1 million man, basically, making movies, making CDs. I mean, priceless. Another good one, ATL. Looking at Tip, TIP, and you've also got Ludacris. One of the great movies. One of the best lines in the movie is where they're sitting at the bar, and it's not the fight and the dog, it's the dog and the fight. Or maybe I've got that backwards. Number 9 is Honey. Honey Part 2 wasn't as great because it did have Miss Daniels in it, and she did have the building that they started in. But I think that it would have been better if Honey had a small part in it. But Honey, number 1 with Jessica Alba, yeah. Number 8, Save the Last Dance. And I know I'm getting a kick on these dance movies, but, you know, that's a profession that I like. I love watching dance. I like to dance myself. But Save the Last Dance, it was a great movie. You know, they come out with a part 2 that didn't really kick off as well, but with part 1, I really liked. Number 7, You Got Served, which, you know, You Got Served also come out with a second part called You Got Served, Take It to the Streets. And then they come out with a You Got Served Around the World, which the Around the World movie, it was alright, but it just didn't really have the punchline that You Got Served and You Got Served, Take It to the Streets had. Number 6. For the ladies out there that's gotta love love stories, Beastly was a great movie. With Ashley Olsen playing as a gothic chick, and turning a spell on a guy that thought he had everything. It's a modern version of Beauty and the Beast, and I really did enjoy it. Number 5, Elektra. A runoff of the Daredevil movie that first started it, which I heard they're coming out with a Daredevil Part 2. And Elektra's supposed to be in it, but it's talk in the works right now. But, you know, I did enjoy Elektra. I love the graphics in Elektra. She worked as hard as she could in the movie. I saw the special scenes, and it's just great. Number 4. You cannot go wrong. If you're looking for a dance movie, you cannot go wrong at all with the Step Up series. Step Up has to be one of the greatest dance movies of all time. What really surprised me is when they made Step Up Revolution, and right at the end, when they basically almost had the whole crew there. Which I've heard in the works, they're making a new Step Up movie, which Channing, yes, Channing, is going to have a battle with Moose. I would love to see that. Moose, to be a kid off the streets, he's got some moves. But I would love to be able to see all the groups at least one time in a Step Up movie. Even if it's in a battle where they're going into competition, I would love to see that. Now getting to my top 3. Top 3 has to be my favorite 3 of all time. And number 3 of my pick would have to be V for Vendetta. You cannot ask for a better monumental movie of all times when you have the guy that played on The Matrix as Agent Smith playing a guy behind a mask as a villain, but yet not a villain. Just remember the 3rd of November. Love that line. Now my number 2 movie that I love, going back to Tim Burton, has to be Nightmare Before Christmas. Love Nightmare Before Christmas. I've heard in the works that Tim Burton was wanting to go and make a Nightmare Before Christmas Thanksgiving. He was wanting to do a Nightmare Before Christmas Valentine's. I do not know if that is true, but I have read about it, which in a way I hope he does, but I hope it just doesn't get so boring that I really fall out of love with the movies, because Nightmare Before Christmas really drawed me. And my number 1 pick of all time. Brandon Lee, you always will be remembered because The Crow was one of the greatest movies that I think had to be out there of all time. They made Crow movies, City of Angels, and then they did 3 other movies of The Crow, which never really kicked off, which I was really disappointed in the very last Crow movie, because it was basically a Mexican remake of the first, and I didn't like it. I'll admit I didn't like it, but you cannot beat the very first Crow, especially when he walks into the pawn shop and he starts reciting Edgar Allan Poe. Can't rain all the time. Well, this is my top 25 movies of the week. If you got a top 25 movie, or you would like for me to say something about a movie, put your comments below, and I'll be glad to get back to you. Until then, this is Chico. I'm out.